All right, guys, quick chat about some things we want you to avoid. And this is blanket rules that applies to whether you're doing a training program or a class or however you're working with us.
This is the what we call the golden rule. Um, Basically, what the golden rule is, in a nutshell, is we want you to avoid pain. Discomfort, we're going to ask you to find discomfort all the time, and we're going to try to ask you to find intensity there whenever possible. But we never want it to cross that line of going from I'm really uncomfortable to I'm in pain. Now, some things to watch out for, like what's the difference between pain and uncomfortable? This is a very, fine line to tread. But things that you want to watch out for are things that create some sort of a pinchy sensation, stabby, sharp sensations, electrical sensations, and what
Burning.
a topical type burn, not like, oh, my muscles are pumped up and I'm getting a lactic acid type burn, but more like I'm in a position and it weirdly feels like someone's holding a lighter up to my skin. So a topical burning sensation, that would be neurological and electrical situation or electrical surgery kind of feel. Again, that's nervous system stuff we don't want to mess with. And then stabby and pinchy kind of sharp pains, we always want to watch out for those things no matter where they are, but especially if we're finding them on what we call the closing angle side of the movement.
That would be the short side of the joint.
Right. So in any movement or stretch, there's always a side of the joint. Again, not the muscle, but the joint. There's always a side of the joint that is getting either more expanded or contracted. So if I'm bending my elbow, when I'm bending this way, there's the shortening side, which would be in the crook of my elbow, and there's the long side. And then if I'm straightening my elbow, this side's getting longer and this side's getting shorter. So if you ever feel those sharper sensations like stabby or pinchy, or even overly
congested. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say congested or blocked, but it feels like it's on the side that's getting shorter. We always want to be making sure that we're not trying to push through anything on that side. That side being congested, the shortening side, means that the joint itself is being compromised if we push harder. Okay, that doesn't mean you have to like completely abandon ship. It just means you're going to have to alter and find either a different setup or just don't go as deep into that position and find a strategy to try to open things up in a more healthy way.
Yeah, please feel free to reach out if you need help with that, guys. But the simplest thing to do is back up out of the range of motion and perform whatever work or contractions we've given you just out of that painful range.
Yeah. All right. Proceed with caution. Again, don't be afraid to be intense. Just realize that we're never going to ask you to push yourself through any sort of pain.
All right, guys, that's the golden rule. Happy training.
Let us know if you have questions.